For me, I always said that I would never sell the company unless it was $1 billion. I was very determined that I wouldn't do it for anything under that. But I think
900 million is good, but $1 billion is like, that's a flex.
I was just like, it's going to be this or I'm not doing it.
What's like, when you're in LA, walk me through your average work day. Like, when do you get up? When do you go to the office? Like, how are you sort of balancing all these different parts of your life?
It really depends on a day-to-day basis. A typical day at home for me, get up with my son, hit a workout as much as I can. I have become a lot more of a homebody than I used to be, and I think when you have a child that happens, at least it did for me. I don't want to generalize it like that happens for everybody, but it definitely made me have so much less FOMO. And I also think getting older does that too, because I have a lot of friends who don't even have kids that feel the same way. I just don't feel like I'm really missing out on much anymore. The other night I was at dinner with my best friend, and we were supposed to go somewhere after the dinner and it got canceled, and we both were like, yes, like so not mad to be going home and turning on a show and just being cozy in bed. And I'm so happy with that now, because I used to be a person where I was like, I want to go out to dinner every night, and I don't want to like skip plans, and now I'm just a lot more fulfilled with being cozy and being in my space and recharging and energizing in that way. And then also I just love to spend time with my son too, and he's growing so fast and it's gone by so fast, and it starts to become more and more real how much you want to soak up that time.
You and Justin are obviously like very famous and have been under a lot of scrutiny for a long time in the public eye. And now that you have a son, how do you balance as a family like the sort of public thing and the private thing? Like, how do you sort of think about that?
I think we're just taking it a day at a time. I think we both feel very protective of our son, and I don't think that's ever going to change. But our life is our life, and it is really public. So I think we're just going to cross every bridge that we need to when we get there. I feel really comfortable about the way we are sharing things and not sharing things.
Yeah. Is he going to get a smartphone, Instagram?
Oh,
how do you feel
God.
about the screen time stuff? These are the big parenting questions.
I know. I'm not super big on screen time at all. And honestly, he's seen little movies and things here and there. He's not super interested in it, which makes me happy. He would way prefer to play outside and play with his toys and hang out. So as long as I can keep that going, I definitely am going to.
Yeah, that's great. What's like the one thing about motherhood that you wish someone had told you before becoming a mother?
I don't think there's anything someone can tell you about it that will ever prepare you until you do it yourself. And I think once you do it, you have so much more understanding of, like, I feel much more prepared to do it again, as opposed to how not prepared I felt doing it for the first time. And I think for me personally, it's because there's so much unknown to it. But so much happens and so much changes, and you evolve in a totally different way that you would never be able to prepare for until you do it.
Where are you at spiritually these days? How's your spiritual practice? Has that evolved at all as now that you're a mother?
I'm somebody who's always been a quite spiritual person. I think your depth of spirituality becomes deeper when you bring life into the world, for sure. It is a very spiritual experience. And yeah, I don't think that's ever going to change for me. Spirituality is something for me that I would always love to evolve the depth of it. But yeah, I don't think that's something that will ever not be so important in my life and close to my life.
Let's go back to your daily routine.
That was kind of my fault. I went really off on a tangent.
We went off the beaten path, but once you have your nice morning at home, is there a Rhode office that you go to?
Yeah, we have our Rhode headquarters here in LA. We have an office on Wilshire, and I think since the pandemic, it's become a lot easier to not have to go do things in person. Lots of Zooms. Still a big fan of Zooming. But the office is really close to me, so I end up in there at least a couple times a month, I would say, depending on how my personal schedule is. I do really like to go into the office because I like to see everybody and I like to see the team. And it's a lot easier for me to be in person, to touch, see, and feel everything and touch samples and look at packaging. And I just feel like we get a lot more done when we have these big in-person meetings. So I would say a few times a month I'm in there, maybe.
In May, you sold Rhode to the beauty company e.l.f. for $1 billion.
Yeah.
Where were you when you first heard that number, and what was your reaction?
For me, I always said that I would never sell the company unless it was $1 billion. I was very determined that I wouldn't do it for anything under that. But I think when
$900 million is good, but $1 billion is like, that's a flex.
I was just like, it's going to be this or I'm not doing it. That was my like goal. But also it was not always entirely my goal to sell the company. I thought if the right opportunity came along and the right home for it came along, then I would definitely consider it. And I think with e.l.f., everything really just, all of the boxes that I would want to check to find a home for it, they checked them and then some. But of course, like when you hear that it's a real thing and the number is real and that's a real situation being put in front of you, it's definitely like, whoa, okay. It's very cool.
Yeah, that was a moment.
Yeah, it was a moment.
Yeah. When you were thinking about selling, I mean, you founded it only 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Did e.l.f. come first, or did the decision to explore the sale come first?
It was kind of like they both happened at once. There was conversation about potential interest, and at the time I just felt open to hearing what was possible and what was out there. So yeah, it kind of was all just like so many things had to be syncing up at once for that to all make sense and be possible at the time. And then also in myself too, like there was fear about, is it too soon? Is it not the right time? Is it the right time? But after having met with e.l.f. the first few times, as the conversations were progressing, I felt more and more sure and more comfortable knowing that if ever there was a permanent home for it, that they would be the ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You make it sound so casual and like selling your brand for $1 billion is just sort of another day in the life.
It's definitely a really gigantic milestone, and I'm super proud and I'm super happy and grateful. I guess it's like, I mean, I don't know, like it's definitely, it is a big deal, and I am really happy.
Yeah, so there's still some pinch me moments for sure.
Oh, it was a huge pinch me moment. I'm definitely not trying to downplay that. It was a massive situation. I just think so much value goes on like the actual price tag when it's like there's so many other factors and things that go into it that make the deal what it is, you know?
Right. Okay, I'm going to throw out another number, which is, so I think 2 weeks ago, Rhode launched at Sephora.
Yeah.
And it's been Sephora's biggest beauty launch ever.
Yeah.
And I read in WWD that the numbers sort of net out to Sephora selling something like 3 Rhode products per second, which means that as we've been sitting here, my back of napkin math is correct, Sephora's sold like 2,000, maybe 2,500 Rhode products already. Did you expect it to go that well?
I think for me, everything with Rhode is like I have my hopes for it, and then I feel like it always exceeds my hopes and expectations. Everything that has happened with this brand has far eclipsed anything I could have ever dreamed of and hoped for what has been built. I think with Sephora, I personally wasn't expecting that to be the result. I really wanted to push it and have it be the best launch that we could have it be. Of course, I really wanted it to be the biggest launch in Sephora's history. I was hopeful that we would do that and that we could do that. But I thought because it was going to be on shelves and in store, maybe it would take away a little bit of the desire to get it so quickly because it would be in stock and it would be in stores. So I definitely was still surprised to see it go the way that it did. And and again. Hello. Sorry to be all up in your space. I think I was still, a little bit surprised to see that response to it. And again, it just gives me even more gratitude for our customer and our fan base at Rhode. And I just like, we're nothing without the consumer and the customers. Like, we're absolutely zero without them and without the dedication and just, you know, like the want and the demand for the brand. So
yeah, the last 10 years in the beauty industry, there have been lots of celebrity founded brands, there have been lots of independent brands, there have been lots of sort of outside disruptive brands, and you know, Rhode has gotten to this level so quickly. Why?
yeah, I don't know if I can exactly say why. My hope for why I think it might be different and why I actually do feel like it is different in comparison to other brands. I think that we come with a different point of view when it comes to beauty. Of our assortment is like super curated, super edited. I like to make these kind of staple products where it's like one of everything good is our motto that we go by. And when I say that, I mean one really good moisturizer, one really good, you know, blush, one really good, all these products that when I travel and when I'm going out for the day, things that I want to throw in my bag, and I want to make the best formula of that thing so that I don't feel the need to go buy it from somewhere else. That was the whole ethos of launching the brand, and also having really good branding and really good aesthetic. And I feel like for me, when I'm building Rhode, it's a whole universe and a whole world that I'm building. And when I open up that world, my hope for why people have really gravitated towards it is that they feel like they're a part of something that is like bigger than skincare. It's not just a beauty brand, it's a whole like lifestyle. And that was something I feel like I really saw with the phone cases, and you know, it really integrated into people's day-to-day lives. And that's how beauty and skincare is for me. It's like a day-to-day lifestyle thing for me.
Was the phone case your idea?
It was my idea. We were sitting in a meeting, and I think we all kind of together collectively were like, oh, we had this aha moment. We were sitting in a meeting and I had one of those sticky cases on the back of my phone, the suction thing. We were sitting in a meeting and I kept sticking the lip onto the suction, and we were all sitting there and I'm like holding it up like this, and I'm looking around the room at everyone in the meeting and I'm like,
That was the eureka moment.
we were kind of like, oh, I'm like, can someone quickly Google if this exists? Is there like a holder that exists? Thinking 100% on Amazon, there has to be something. Right. And it didn't exist, so I was like, let's try to do it as quickly as we can, and that's how the phone case was born. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So Harris Dickinson was the first male face of Rhode. He looked dewy and awesome in the campaign. What is your ambition in men's grooming, men's beauty space? Are you planning on expanding Rhode into that?
Honestly, I really feel like skincare is genderless. Like, it doesn't need to be geared towards specifically men or specifically women. Now, I do understand that with men that there's certain grooming things that are needed, beards and all that kind of thing. But for me, my whole thing with Rhode was that I really wanted it to be a skincare brand that was super elevated and chic in the coloring and the packaging, so that this is like what I kept saying, if your boyfriend went into your bathroom and like wanted to use something, they wouldn't feel like, oh, this is really like girly and everything is pink, or like, it just felt like it could be for anybody and anyone could use it. My husband uses Rhode and has since the beginning and loves it, and I have a lot of male friends that are obsessed with it and use it, and I put a lot of guys who never really were into skincare onto the Rhode stuff. Tons of Justin's friends, and they come back to me and they're like, I ran out of my cleanser, like I need more. And that to me makes me so happy, because I think that skincare is for everybody, and everybody should have access to a great skincare routine, and it doesn't take much to have a great skincare routine. And that was another big ethos for me with Rhode, is that you could have 3 things, even if you're just washing your face and putting on moisturizer at night. That's doing a lot more than doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, men need some help, so that's good.
Men do need some help, but you know, I do think it would be easy for a guy to grab his glazing milk out of his girlfriend's bathroom and do a little something, you know?
Well, I'll have to get some samples later.
I got you.
So, switching gears a little bit, you have 55 million followers, which is like more than the number of people who live in Canada and many other countries.
Whoa.
So it's hard to like generalize anything about that many people, but I'm curious how you sort of think about your fans and your followers, and what you think that, you know, what you think they care about, and sort of what you think they want from you.
To be honest, I just like to post what feels good for me. I I share what I'm comfortable with. I share what I think is interesting, what I think is cool, what I think looks good. And, I pay attention. I see the way people are posting. I feel like things continuously change on Instagram, like even the way people post photo dumps, and now we're posting with music on our posts. That was something that posting with music to your Instagram didn't exist. So I think it's always evolving. And it's also a way that I like to interact to a certain degree. I interact on there with all my friends. We DM each other stuff back and forth. So it's definitely a beautiful tool. I think it can be a challenging tool, but it's also, I look at Instagram as like this really cool photo diary as well. And I can scroll back so far and see myself in 2016 and look back on, this girl that I've started as and where I am today. And
So you don't archive?
I don't really archive, no.
Good for you.
A little bit here and there if I feel like things are getting a little messy.
Do you feel like you sort of naturally inhabit the role of boss at Rhode?
I feel like the road of boss in my title, I feel very clear on as the chief creative officer and on the creative side and thinking about the ideas and concepts for shoots and all of those things. I feel really, I feel very bossy in that seat, but also I feel everybody who's on the team is also bossy in their seats and in their roles. And nothing that I ever come up with or think about gets done or gets executed if I didn't have all of those executors being so good at what they do. So I feel like we're all bossy together, and it's a lot of shared work and responsibility.
Right. It's just a boardroom of bosses.
I think so. There's bad bitches at Rhode.
Do you have a dream male face of Rhode? Someone who is like bucket list, would love to cast?
I mean, I was really thrilled when Harris did our campaign. I think someone on the older side would be really interesting, like an older male, and I think that could be interesting and cool. There's nobody off the top of my head, but maybe like an older actor would be interesting to me. Yeah.
Yeah, like I could picture like Willem Dafoe having,
Which would be sick.
really glossy skin.
We love, yeah.
Okay, so you've had a long day at the office, being a boss with the bosses. What do you like to do after to unwind? Do you go home? Do you?
I definitely like to go home after a packed day. I always want to be with my family. I always want to see my son. Maybe a dinner. Maybe a little martini with the girls. It really depends on my energy. I think I'm at the time in my life and I'm at the age where I really like to understand when I don't have anything else to give, and I don't want to waste my time trying to make plans when I don't have anything to give.
It's very responsible of you.
I do my best.
You actually posted something on Instagram yesterday about how you're an outrovert, which is a term I'd never heard.
I never heard that before. I posted that because I had never seen it before, but it made a lot of sense for how I feel. I'm very extroverted, but I also really need time by myself to reset.
Yeah, wait, so walk us through the outrovert concept. It's someone who's extroverted but
introverted. I think that's what it was saying. It's like you're both.
You're both.
It's someone who's really extroverted but needs introverted time to
So you go to the
recharge.
You go to the function, you social, and then
I go to the function, social butterfly.
In the relentless world of celebrity beauty brands, few could anticipate Hailey Bieber taking a step back when so many are jostling to stay on top. But that's exactly what stunned the industry, sending a shockwave through fans, beauty insiders, and her own company as she admitted she's seriously contemplating the sale of her much-loved Rhode Beauty line, a move that sparked surprise given her early success, influencer power, and the constant speculation about rivalry with another superstar, Selena Gomez's Rare Beauty. Hailey, when speaking up for the first time about these rumors, made it clear she respected what Selena had accomplished, emphasizing an admiration that dispels the supposed feud fans have nurtured, explaining that Rare Beauty isn't just another makeup label, but a testament to self-love and mental health. Things Hailey feels she's unable, or perhaps unwilling, to match under current circumstances. Her candid confession revealing exhaustion rather than any animosity towards Selena's journey or milestone moments. When Rhode Beauty launched, anticipation was high. Hailey's glossy, effortless aesthetic and huge following had press and shoppers convinced she was destined for instant success. And at first they weren't wrong. Lip products sold out, hype snowballed on TikTok, Instagram, and the packaging matched the minimalist dream her fans craved. But behind the scenes, Hailey was battling more than just logistics and product demand. The pressure of the ever-competitive industry that doesn't allow a single misstep began to mount, with every Rhode release measured against what Kylie, Finney, or, most pointedly, Rare Beauty was doing. Comparisons were relentless, every single social post and campaign dissected, and fans scrutinized even the scent of Rhode's serum to decide if it outperformed the rest, making Hailey admit in her interview exactly how draining it became to keep up with the scrutiny. Her words, "People think it's glamorous, but it's exhausting, cutting to the bone for anyone who thinks celebrity brands just coast on fame." Selena's Rare Beauty, meanwhile, proved impossible to ignore, quickly gaining praise for inclusive shade ranges, affordable prices, and a core message centered on wellness and self-acceptance, which made Rare more than a company and closer to a genuine movement. A sentiment echoed in every viral review and loved by regular customers as much as beauty industry heavyweights. Selena's own openness about her mental health battles shaped Rare into something fans felt was truly theirs, making Hailey take notice. Instead of resentment, what she felt was genuine inspiration, admitting she doesn't want to fight against Rare, but stand by and cheer Selena on instead. Clearly moved by the humility at the core of her competitor's rise. Subscribe for more honest celebrity insights and updates just like this. For Hailey, stepping away from Rhode isn't a business tactic. It's a deeply personal choice rooted in her changing priorities, especially as her marriage, journey through fame, and upcoming motherhood have shifted her inner compass. She's yearning for calm, time with her family, and what she called something grounding, openly sharing. "I want to focus on my family. Starting a family, being present for them. That's where my heart is right now. It's time to put them first." It's a perspective shockingly rare in today's era where nonstop hustle culture dominates headlines, with Hailey quietly suggesting you don't have to choose ambition at the expense of your own peace. And sometimes, the bravest move is the gentlest one, knowing when to stop running in a race only built for ever-escalating stakes. Her plan for Rhode Beauty isn't to abandon it, but to find a successor who truly grasps her vision of minimalism, clean ingredients, and a message that celebrates simplicity, even hinting that she prefers someone outside the celebrity circle inherit her work, trusting her brand instead to a new kind of stewardship that echoes her own values for honest beauty and authenticity. The search for a buyer who fits that ideal is ongoing, but Hailey says there's no rush. Not only does she want it handled carefully, she's protective of what she's built and determined not to let the work of years fall into untrustworthy hands, even as industry insiders already speculate about which conglomerates and investors are circling, ready for their shot to guide Rhode into a new era. She made her intentions clear, saying, "Rhode will always be a part of me, but it's time for someone else to take the reins," signaling her readiness to move on while rooting for her creation's continued life in good hands. An approach that stands out among celebrity lines that usually cling tightly to their brands in hopes of squeezing every last dollar from recognition. Before you catch the next twist in celebrity business moves, subscribe for all the latest updates. Rumors, naturally, continue to circulate. Some insiders suggest that the mythical tension between Hailey and Selena was exaggerated, that competition was only ever in the minds of fans and industry story spinners. A fact underlined by how thoughtfully Hailey spoke about the other woman's success and their shared experiences under an unforgiving spotlight. Behind every campaign, viral product, and fast sellout, there was more than formulas and marketing at play. Both these brands became cultural symbols almost overnight, as fans monitoring every hashtag and launch date transformed what started as a business endeavor into an ongoing social moment. A phenomenon both Selena and Hailey had to navigate with delicacy. Hailey, reflecting on this, described the toll it took, noting she had underestimated how mentally and emotionally taxing it is to exist in a space where every detail, down to facial expressions in promotional shoots, is parsed for meaning, creating a climate of anxiety and fatigue rather than the creative joy she'd initially envisioned. as Rare Beauty scaled new heights thanks to cult favorite blushes and foundations that truly worked for people across all skin tones. Fans began to see Selena as a leader in using personal trials, her openness about her mental health and ongoing battles, a beacon for those seeking not just coverage but hope. Meanwhile, Rhode, though innovative and beloved, never quite escaped comparisons, and Hailey was increasingly uncomfortable with the idea that the value of her work could only be measured against someone else's journey. Recognizing her needs and dreams had evolved past formulas, launch schedules, and market share wars. Her gratitude for the support Rhode had received was genuine. Hailey expressed love for her community and for the creative moments it allowed, but over time, she said, she'd realized there's more to life than engagement numbers and monthly sales, and felt compelled to honor that certainty even if it meant stepping out of the world she'd carefully built. Subscribe now for more behind-the-scenes stories and real talk from the world's top celebrities. Hailey emphasized that Rhode's future mattered to her, that the brand deserved an owner who would carry the torch with as much sincerity as she had, voicing hope the next leader would stay true to the mission of ease, transparency, and healthy beauty, rather than chasing trends for the sake of virality or hype. She was honest about her own fatigue, not from lack of love for clean beauty, but from the pace and scrutiny that comes with business at the highest level, especially for women who navigate not only investor meetings, but the public's every opinion on appearance, lifestyle, and supposed rivalry. This exhaustion was not bitterness, but a signal that it was time for a new chapter, both for herself and for Rhode. As speculation amplifies about which industry figure or newcomer might take the reins, and whether, as she hopes, Rhode will become the rare celebrity brand able to thrive past its founder, Hailey stands firm, prioritizing peace, family, and authentic support for the women she once saw as rivals. As she told interviewers, "I'd rather cheer Selena on. She's built something amazing," a line that resonated with fans who've seen too much public feuding and not enough true camaraderie in the industry. That glimpse of humility and real admiration struck a note rarely heard from celeb entrepreneurs, changing the conversation around what it means to walk away from a successful brand, and marking a rare moment of vulnerability in a notoriously ego-driven business. As industry watchers and fans digest the news, some see Hailey's journey as a model for a gentler, more realistic approach to ambition, a story driven by respect, awareness, and the courage to choose a softer path when the world expects only more hustle. In a culture clamoring for endless achievement, her choice to step aside and lift others up stands out as quietly revolutionary. The narrative finishes as Hailey, ready to start a new chapter in family life, watches fans and insiders alike reflect back her honesty and transparency with both surprise and gratitude, marking Rhode not as a failure or a loss, but as a beautiful chapter, one that might be closing but leaves behind a legacy of sincerity, self-knowledge, and the power to hand off the baton not in defeat, but in celebration of collaboration over competition and proof that sometimes the hardest and most beautiful decision is simply knowing when to let go.